Life is a slave. I got less their tiny fraction. Look at Hazar laughing like a kid next to me, and him thinking, can I bring a little light into his dark? At this moment, he had to try his utmost, so he sought a friend from underground fight clubs, who agreed like a money god. The catch, fight in an underground bout. Ollie knew he might get battered like a dumpling, but nodded, thinking, just wait for my chance. Ollie fibbed about having some savings, and brought up the surgery with Hazar, but Hazar always thought his blindness was his penance. Hazar stopped refusing. He also wanted to see this guy whose kindness ran deeper than ocean trenches. Who can say no to the allure of light? Prepare for the fight, and for his own redemption, Ollie began training like a sponge on a caffeine high. He soaked in the gym every day, thinking every bruise was a lottery ticket for survival, but the night before the surgery, fear crept in like a thief. He was afraid of not being able to be by Hazar's side, feeling pain slicing through him like a knife. Ollie fell silent, huddled next to Hazar like a kid who lost his candy. Hazar, thrilled to meet Ollie, hurriedly said, skip the talk, let me save her. Go on, don't dawdle. Watching Hazar being wheeled into the oar, Ollie's eyes were full of endless sadness. Feeling a pang in his heart, Ollie was like said beef, watching it all unfold helplessly. Sadness and reluctance filled his eyes with tears. Per rules, Ollie changed his name. He arrived in a strange city, entered the underground fight club, and a giant roared at him, as if saying, come on, kid. His opponent was the local wrestling champ, built like a mountain. Ollie thought, what have I gotten myself into? Oh, Ollie had mad skills. His punches felt like a kiss and scratch. Meanwhile, his opponent's fists were aimed like Cupid's arrow. After a clash, Ollie could barely move, yet his mind recalled their happy beach moments. Such companionship is rare. How could he quit easily? Struggling up, he used his last strength. He fought back like a wild beast, and Ollie won. But he also made some very unhappy losers on the way home, like trying to escape a mud pit. It soon came a gut-wrenching payback. Ollie had promised Hazar he would let him see him first. But this time, he might break his promise. Hazar's surgery went swimmingly, and he was seeing the world again. He saw that long-anticipated rock and the beauty of the beach, but there was one person missing from the picture. Yes, Hazar regained his sight, but his heart was filled with shadows. After a long wait and search, Hazar got skinnier than a twig, with only the now-grown symbol keeping him going. One day, Hazar received the farewell letter that Ollie had left behind for her, and tears flowed down as she read his confession of everything. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Do you know, you're my darkness, but also my salvation. A year later, Hazar opened a flower shop, waiting for that special someone while turning down all suitors like a pro. One day, he went to the hospital to visit a patient, when suddenly he heard a voice from the next room. He turned around to see Ollie, his long-lost friend, shining like a ray of sunshine. But now, whether from guilt or his own fragility, he couldn't dare to approach him. Who's this? Just days ago, he had arrived in the UK, looking like he'd been through a war. Let me have a look. Hazar moved next to Ollie, checking the medical records and planning to help him relax. But when his hands touched his back, it felt way too familiar. For a moment, he almost recognized him. He looked up at the medical chart, and that unfamiliar name left Hazar a bit disheartened. After a quick checkup, Hazar turned away, feeling a little defeated. Ollie's hands slowly opened, emotions bubbling up. He closed his eyes, letting the tears flow naturally. Trying not to disturb Hazar, Ollie checked out early and limped away like he was on a bad reality show. He accidentally stumbled into a flower shop, and that balsam flower felt familiar like an old friend. Spotting the ring on the man's finger, Ollie couldn't help but smile, feeling a wave of nostalgia. Then, he quietly took the little turtle that witnessed his and Hazar's meeting, feeling like a sneaky thief. Ollie limped back when he suddenly bumped into a joyful dog, the energetic Simul rushing towards him. Ollie went down like a sack of potatoes, while Hazar, who was solid as a rock, hurried over to help him up, looking a bit flustered. But this time, Hazar still didn't recognize Ollie. Ollie's eyes darted around like he was playing a game of hide and seek. He could only nod awkwardly, as if he had just swallowed a frog, and hurried away. But in the blink of an eye, Simul appeared to detect its owner's sorrow and let out a howl from behind. No matter how much Hazar pulled, Simul refused to budge like it was a stubborn burrito. Soon, Hazar returned to the shop, only to find that the turtle on the table had vanished. He asked his friends, but they were clueless. Suddenly, Hazar had a light bulb moment. All those glances in Simmel's weirdness pointed to one outcome. Molly was back in the picture. Tears burst forth uncontrollably as Hazel raced down the street, desperately searching for the familiar face.